2026, pre-storm of the century, building on the East Coast and Midwest and Southeast. But more importantly, the storm is Jerry's back from a few days of working through the bugs. So welcome back, Jerry.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Good to see everybody. Welcome back, and I'm glad to be back. Yes, for sure, 100%. So it's good to see everybody.
Cool. Good to have you back. And more importantly, look at this, Josh Brown, the legend, the myth. And now he's got that. Look at that logo now. Josh, welcome to the show, brother.
Chasing Dirt Show. Thanks. And I feel for all the folks with the weather coming in. You probably can't see out my backyard here, but it's 70, 80 degrees in Arizona. So I'm wishing good thoughts for you guys.
And with that positive affirmation of good weather, make sure to like and subscribe. Jerry and I are internet famous now. So, Jerry, I've gotten 2 calls this week asking to say I want more information. So we're making a dent in the commercial cleaning business. So I love it.
Yeah.
But more importantly, we got a special guest today. And Josh, let's do this. Introduce yourself. I've known you for maybe 5 years now, but give your history of how you've been in the business of cleaning, and let's get up to the point of where you are today. But before you get into the point where you are today, I'm going to throw some big news out that everybody's probably heard. If you hadn't heard, it's crazy. We're going to talk about that a lot. But go, tell us your rundown.
Okay, so was kind of born into the business 1999, 2000, coming out of college, primarily in the janitorial distribution space as a rep. I've worked for small, medium, large, and global companies, primarily growing and managing portfolios of a lot of your audience, which is building service contractors, K through 12, higher education, Class A office space, and high traffic. I've moved around a little bit from Ohio to spent 12 years in Colorado, where a big portion of that business was built around sustainability and green. And when I was working with those customers, it was being green when it made sense to be green, because at that time, green was something new. There was a lot of greenwashing that was out there, and most times the products didn't work as well. So I prided myself on, helping work with my clients almost like as a portion of their business, as their consultant, of bringing new innovation, problem-solving solutions, and sustainability was a big aspect of that when it made sense, meaning, hey, the products had to work, had to be competitively priced, and there had to be a good story to it. And so that's kind of what brought me to Soap 2.0. We checked a lot of those boxes.
Well, we're going to jump into that. So yeah, no, Josh is. We talk about the good guys in the industry. Anybody who's worked, anybody knows Josh, he is one of the good guys. So he is definitely moving the industry forward. So let's start off this before we take a dive into your new role at Soap 2.0.
Yeah.
Big news, Jerry. Did you see the news yesterday? This is a test with Jerry because Jerry's been sick. Did you know the big news we're going to talk about, Jerry?
I do not. I'm excited to hear.
Jerry, come on.
Come on, Jerry. This is the business. This is our business.
Oh,
I just got out of bed yesterday for the first time in 2 weeks. So.
Well, this
will keep you out of bed, Jerry.
Yeah, this will keep you out of bed. So the big news yesterday, I got word from my friend here in the Northeast because I was out doing something, and the news that came across was Gojo was acquired by Clorox yesterday.
Oh.
Now that's a big acquisition into itself, but what people do not know is Gojo is a privately held company. So we're talking some massive, and everybody knows Gojo's presence. We're talking about a massive payday for some folks there at Gojo. So, it was the last name's Kaffer, I guess, the family. So I am a third or fourth cousin. So if they want to, pass it on, sponsor an advertising slot here, I'm good with that. But what's your thoughts on that overall, Josh? What's your thinking? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? I think it caught everybody off guard.
Nothing surprises me now. I would say, when 20 years ago, when you look at the map that Dave Frank has, there was 25,000 independents. Now there's less than 2,000, and we've seen that happen with manufacturers. We've seen that happen with cleaning companies. So nothing surprises me, and I love it. I think they complement each other well. It's two very well respected, not only companies but brands. If you look at Perel, that's a name that people align with hand sanitizer. So I think it's going to be great. It's gonna be good for them. It's going to cause some disruption in the industry, which for companies like us that are newer and we're nimble is, some things might come up that create opportunities for other people in the market space with two large companies coming together like that.
Jerry, if you would have been using more Gojo, who's to know what would you be right now? You might have, just saying.
Hey,
Well, and
I'm
Clorox
just thinking
too.
about,
Yeah, he's bitch, and
yeah, I'm thinking about, in my mind, I'm processing, if that was a privately held company, that's probably a good payday for some people. Probably a good
Yeah, yeah.
payday. So,
A very good payday. But yeah, I think they were doing pretty well, regardless of that or not. But both sides happy for Clorox, happy for Gojo. I think, like you said, Josh, change. Dave Frank is having a heyday with his little history. What is it?
I think
Time
that
frame.
went from like something he saved. Now it's just a living, breathing thing because the amount of change that's happening, on that pipeline. It went from 1 page to now it's like 7 pages.
Well, if Dave
uh,
Frank gets this, I want to clarify something because Greg Ford, who was the VP of Sales at Spartan, once claimed to me, and again, if Greg watching this, I doubt he is. He's playing golf, probably somewhere retired. But Dave Frank, call BS on this or not, Greg Ford said it was his idea to Dave Frank to say, you need to start creating a timeline of all
Okay.
these acquisitions and mergers. And I think I just want to get to the root of that. So Dave Frank, or everybody knows Dave Frank, send this portion of the video to him and let me know if it's BS or not. And if Dave Frank wants to come on to contest that, and maybe we get Greg Ford on to have a little bit of a head-to-head, I'm happy with doing that too. So,
I think that'd be good. That'd be good for the industry. Two industry legends and vets. Whose idea was it?
Yeah. But let's do this. Soap 2.0. I know Jordan. I've talked to him a few times. Great guy, visionary thinker, forward thinking. What's like? Tell us, the people that do not know what Soap 2.0 is. Tell us how you guys form. What do you actually do, and what is that niche you're looking to fill? And will we see you in the next 5 years being acquired by Clorox as well? So that's my big questions.
Well, geez, man. Luckily, I ate my Wheaties and took my nootropics today. Because that's a dialed-in question there, Jack. So Soap 2.0, you mentioned Jordan. He is our founder and our visionary that came up with our kind of concept and system over 5 years ago, with really a mission to reduce waste and eliminate single-use plastics. So there are a lot of really good competitors that I've sold for years, but how most people go to market is they're selling ready-to-use prepackaged product that they're shipping plastic, they're shipping water, and there's a lot of waste that comes along with that. So we're going to the approach of we ship soap, not water. So we have a little hyper concentrated aluminum bottle that can then to be filled to make products. So it's a great opportunity for people that are looking for sustainability because our waste reduction, eliminating single-use plastics, but there's a lot of other benefits that come along with that to the end users and our distributor partners, which is, cost is still forefront to anybody, and hand care is might not be the number one spend, but it's typically a top 5 spend within most, cleaning companies or things like that. So cost saving, sustainability, and then the opportunity to share something new and innovative to their customers that can help provide value to them is what's making us a little bit different.
Nice. How long is that aluminum? I've seen your packages prior, maybe a couple of years ago. When did you guys make that move? I think that's brilliant. When did you make that move to aluminum?
Yeah, we went from the pods because the pod was a great concept, but we found we were limited with the formulations and the end result to the customer, and that was what was most important is, the vision has to meet the reality. So we moved to the aluminum bottle last June and into July, and that's been a very well received. It's been great with the end use product. And it's been an easy transition because it hasn't impacted our strategy or how we fill or refill the dispensers.
So I take that bottle, just explain to the audience. So when I get that bottle, what do I do with that? And then what does that produce? Let's put it that way.
Yep. Yeah. So rather than buying, prepackaged cartridges, that are out there, which, obviously is wasteful in a space. You'll get a concentrated 100 ml bottle of our foam soap. We have what we call our forever bottle. So it's a black gallon jug that you fill with water. You fill this in here, you shake this, and then this then becomes your dispensing mechanism to fill or refill dispensers. And we have a number of different ones for some of the smaller clients or higher end that maybe don't want a dispenser on the wall. We've got a nice glass, black and white hand pump bottle. So it pumps out a really nice, rich lather. And then for the wall mount dispensers, we've got a nice faux stainless with a cover plate that we can custom logo. So we're covering from a small office style single opportunity to wall mount bulk dispensing systems.
That's great.
Awesome. Go, Jared.
No, I'm just gonna say that's great. I think you've eliminated probably a couple of steps and obviously a couple steps and then some, like you said, some plastics and things of that nature, which I think in our industry we don't always think about as BSCs, but customers of BSCs are thinking about that. And we have to make sure we put that at the forefront of our mindset to say, hey, here's what we're doing to help you meet your standards as well. And so that's a great looking product. So I love how you just pop everything up and it's all right there. It's great. So
well, and Jerry, thanks for saying that. And obviously, this is really about your audience, and I think that's where we fit in is we give your audience something different and unique to go to their clients because it's a perfect time of the year. The calendar's just changed, so a lot of your your commercial cleaners are either having yearly reviews with how did things go, what does next year look like. They're bidding on new things. So our product provides, something new and different for them to take to help them with their goals. And, number one, everyone wants to save money. We know that. But we are seeing more and more people become environmentally conscious. And there are some people out there, that have a sustainability manager. They might have an ESG person. And any of those organizations that your customers are providing service to, their customers have specific KPIs with measurables to reduce waste, increase recycling. There's companies that are going to net zero by 2030. So thank you for saying that, but that is something big that we do. And the other thing is space. So if you think about the custodial closet, none of them were built with our teams in mind of actually can we get our equipment there? Can we get our storage in there? So everybody is trying to do more with less. In our case, a product, is very small, so it takes up very little space, but you get a lot for it. So what makes us different is 4 big things: the cost savings, the space, the waste reduction, and the single-use plastic. So when I say waste, as you guys know, you talk with a lot of cleaning contractors, is unless they have a smart technology, they are tasked to play judge and jury. Do I change this or don't I? And what happens then is if they don't change it in time, then they get a customer complaint. And customer complaints come with what we call non-productive travel time. I got to stop what I was doing over here, come back and fill this and go there. So there's big labor savings. But then most times, Jack's in there at night and there's 10, 20, 30%, and he's going to say, hey, I don't want to get that complaint, so I'm going to throw this away. So you've got waste going there and an unused product that's not being used. That also helps our story, but more importantly, your customers and then their customers.
Yeah. It's important as BSCs to be aware of that. You've got to bring when you bring solutions to your customer, and I don't mean chemical solutions, I mean a solution of a problem. When you're able to solve a problem or check a box for them on their requirements, especially in the medical field and education, all those places, it's a huge win for you. You've done all the homework, done all the research, and you're providing a product that checks a box for them, and that's a big deal, I think. And we have to be aware of that as BSCs to understand what our suppliers bring to the table and how they can help us move forward and get better business,
Yeah, and I want to echo that and also challenge, your listeners is how, your customers, have a lot of resources out there, not only from their distributor partners, but the manufacturers. And our job as a manufacturer, our distribution partners are to help, your audience, which is the commercial cleaning contractors, bring these solutions to the end users. They don't need to be the subject matter expert. They need to be experts on asking the right questions. Are you open to, and then going to their resources or get the right resources who can help them with whatever their client's specific goals or tasks might be.
Yeah.
Josh, how many flavors do you guys have on this thing? Like when I say flavors, like is there scents? Is there different SKUs? What is it overall?
Yeah, good question. So we have, so with our flagship product, which are our foaming hand soap, we have two, as you would say, flavors. I don't encourage you. Well, you can taste it, Jack, but I encourage.
That's why my hair's gone. I would taste too much chemicals.
We've got a coconut acai berry fragrance. It's nice and mild. And then for the customers that don't want any fragrance, we have a fragrance-free product. That's our flagship product. And then same concept, but rather than foaming, we have a liquid hand, hair, and body. So moving from the soap to then into like the shower stalls or things like that for gyms, hospitality, we have a liquid hand, hair, and body product.
I think that's a critical thing to point out is foaming, because not only the savings from the smaller container size, but foaming is a huge savings into itself. And I think a lot of contractors out there still don't know or haven't been, informed properly of bulk liquid versus foaming and the cost advantages is that as well. And also not only the cost advantages, but also just the amount of post-usage cleanup. If you've ever been in, you see these there's just gobs of soap on the sink that kind of goes away, not all together, but it's not the slip and fall hazard that it once was or could be. So,
absolutely, yeah. Where our biggest successes, I would say, from the commercial, cleaning providers, has been is their contracts are either typical one, an all-in number that supplies are baked in, meaning that your audience is responsible for everything. So anything that we and our distribution partners can do to provide cost savings to them is just going to drive profit to their bottom line. The other that we see is your audience buys and then resells those products. So our solution then would provide cost saving solutions to their customers. And then the third is a door opener that they might not have the products, or it might not be part of the program, that they can take something different, new, and innovative to either their current customers to pick up wallet share to a new item, or if they're having trouble getting into a customer, rather than going and talking about the same things that everybody else is doing, it's different and it's innovative. It's a great door opener.
Cool. Let me ask you this. All the advantages we talked about, I think other advantages, you guys are part of NSA, so good outfit there with Mike Conrad. So you're on that contract. Contractors are not aware of what NSA is. Type in NSA cleaning, look it up. It's a worthwhile, it's a GPO for contract cleaners. So they're taking several billions worth of purchasing, aggregating that and giving those opportunities for discounts to the small, mid-size, and large contractors. So that's a good one. You guys are part of, did you guys join BSEA? Are you part of that as well?
Yeah, actually my first travel coming off knee surgery is to their CEO summit, which is next week in Cabo. So I'm excited to, not to poke the bear on your 4 degrees that you're dealing with, but next week I'll be down in Cabo with 200 of the, key folks for the leading BSCs through BSCAI.
Well, I can tell you some people not. No, go ahead.
No, go, Gary.
I was just gonna say, Josh, you call me. I'll tell you some people you don't want to hang out with there.
Okay.
But there's
good
some people.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting times. Be careful down there, because they're talking about the cartels or looking at kidnapping where they can Americans to make a point. So be careful. But all of those good things you're doing with the associations and groups, great. Tell us this: if I'm a contract cleaner, how should I approach my clients to say, listen, I have this option that I'd like to explore with you. What resources are available? What's the conversation? What is going to be the pushback from these contractors are going to get? Because we all know this, the sales strategies that people play is that, containers are better because it's sealed. There's no contamination, all this stuff. What is the cost of dispensers? All this stuff. We already talked about the pros. How do you take it as a contract cleaner and say, I want to introduce this. This is what I need to be prepared to have the conversation around, but also be able to defend. What's the take on that?
Yeah, good question. And I'm kind of go back to some of the things we talked about. Now is that perfect time to be having it. It's a new year, and depending on who the customers, fiscal years might be changing or whatever. But a good time to go to them, and one, make sure that your end user knows what their specific goals are. So obviously, one of the most, that's important to everybody is cost. So is to reinforce, hey, is cost and driving down savings one of your biggest goals for 2026? If so, great. We might have a solution to help reduce your hand care cost. And I'm going to throw this number out, is approximately 40%. So your
40.
Contract cleaners can, with a position of power, more often than not, and we don't win every time, but I would say most times that we're winning, we are showing an average of 40% savings to the end user. While and the pushback, Jack, is really coming from change. Change is difficult because we are asking people to let us in their buildings for a day or two, to take down their dispensers, put up new dispensers. But they've been through that a lot, and they've been through it even more as we talked about earlier with the mergers and acquisitions, product changes. So we've seen change not more accepted, but people are just used to dealing with it because of all the other things that are happening in the industry. So I think you lead with cost savings. And then for any customers that have sustainability initiatives, for us to reduce waste and eliminate single-use plastics is huge. So we can provide a cost savings calculator, an environmental impact calculator to show basically the amount of waste we're going to reduce, a carbon calculator. So we've got some tools to help them do that. And one thing I want you mentioned against bulk. We actually have a preservative in our product, and we've got 6-month white paper testing that our product in dispensers inhibits any bacteria growth or things like that. So we can overcome the mystique of the bulk fill with the traditional pink liquids that are out there.
Yep.
And the other nice thing from a sampling perspective is, obviously we'd love to get something on the wall, but we've got these nice glass bottles, white and black. We've got amber. So if somebody wants to get our product in their end user's hands to try the product and smell it before putting something on the wall, we can help them do that very quickly and easily.
Awesome. Let me ask you this, because this is something. This is maybe you know this stat. I learned this stat in my stint as a distributor, and I think this number came from Gojo actually. But I think for those contract cleaners that aren't sure when to ask, if they even change, because most people look at soap dispensers and they go, it's been there forever. But I think the stat I remember from Gojo is that a typical client will change their soap platform every 3 to 5 years. Maybe you've got a dialed in number with that, but if you don't think that they're making changes, they're making those changes all the time. And it's just, if it's been on the wall for more than 3 years, most likely they are very open to that conversation of making a change, because the dispensers are outdated. They probably have seen price increases that they don't want to, see any further ones. So perfect timing, but elaborate on that.
You're spot on. Syracuse University today, an industry and sustainability study for us. One of those questions that we asked them to find out was, what is the average life cycle of dispensers on the wall? And it's 3 to 7 years is the lifespan.
Nice. So opportunities every single month, every single day.
Right.
If you've seen that dispenser and it's been on the wall, because you can look at some of these dispensers, They look like crap, first of all. Second of all, you can say it's 1970 look to it. Conversation should be had. Josh, with all that said, how do we go about our listeners reaching out to you? I'll put you in LinkedIn. I'll put your, if you don't mind, I'll drop your email in there as well. But if they were to want to engage a conversation with you or have a client engage, what is the best process? Because right now you're also looking for distribution to kind of get this out there. So what's that overall look like, that roadmap?
Yeah, thanks. Any and all ways, you're going to share my info. So whether it's phone, email, our website, obviously initially a Teams meeting is great where we can run through how our products work, what the dispensers look like, and then to see if it makes sense for a sample or a trial. But whatever their preferred method is, it's a little cold in some of your areas, so I would say courier pigeon, but most of those have flown south or west by now. But phone, email, text, website, whatever their preferred method is, and would love the opportunity to connect, to answer questions, share our story, help present this to their customers, and whatever they think makes sense.
Cool. And you are actually looking for just additional distribution. You have distribution now, but you're looking for additional distribution. So if anyone's interested in reaching out there, is that as well?
Our goal is to have we don't want to have exclusive, but we would like to have select or preferred distribution with, one or two national partners, and then 1 to 2 good independents, in the marketplace. So we're having a lot of great conversations, nationally, locally, regionally, and that map's getting filled out pretty quickly from our partners and how we're going to service the market.
What I like about your product from a distribution standpoint is the footprint is about 1/100th of what your competitors are. So this is not a big commitment as far as inventory space, which is one of the 4 criteria that manufacturers want, is inventory space. So
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that is huge. Outside of the the cost savings and all the other things we talked about, when inside our distributions business, while it might not show up on the ledger or the balance sheet, is operational efficiencies, which you talked about. 1 pallet of our product is equal to a truckload of our competitors. So for those distributors there that are busting at the seams and looking at, hey, I need more space, or consolidating SKUs because of that, is, you give me one little slot and I can maximize, their profit and their turns. And then also, what does it do on their trucks, and then in turn their custodial closet? So from, kind of farm to table, we're covering a lot of really great things from space savings as well.
And I'll throw one last thing, that I'll let Jerry wrap it up. But one last thing, I think I love what Jordan's doing, and I don't know all the details, but Jordan's kind of that forward thinking, travels around the world, doing all kinds of cool crap. But you guys have a whole social side of your business as well. So when they're buying your product, they're supporting some social causes that you guys do. What is that at a very high level that you guys are doing on that front?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I always like to share that, because it's more and more important to certain people, and it's great for just to throw it out there. Is a certain portion of our sales do go to supporting our partnership with the Made Blue Foundation. So, what we're trying to do with our customers is ship soap, not water, and we want to take the money that we make and give that water to somebody else, which are third world countries. Not only with drinking water, Jack and Jerry, but what we have found is, even just personal hygiene and things like that. So our website tracks on a daily, weekly basis how many clean liters of water that we're donating. And we're not just donating. There's pictures of Jordan, getting dirty and doing the work and things like that. So that is something that is near and dear, that, we're very purposeful driven with how we can impact our customers, the planet, and then giving back and helping our fellow, humans.
I see the angle now. I love the angle. The water we're not shipping, we're shipping to you. I love that. I didn't think
of that. I'm not that smart, Jack. But Jordan, as you know, is a visionary. We've already got 2 or 3 new cool products coming. I can't tell you about it, but maybe halfway through the year, there's some really cool stuff that's being tested in the hospitality space to eliminate the wasteful bars of soap in the hotel rooms, which is really pretty cool. But yeah, so Made Blue Foundation, it's on our website. The water that we save from shipping in our soap, we're giving it to third world countries to drink and bathe with.
Well, if Jordan, this is for Jordan right here, pass this along to Jordan. If Jordan has any desire to send Jerry and I some brown water, bourbon, we're okay with that. From Europe, we'll take some European bourbon from over there. That's happy. We're happy to get that brown water. I love the brown. I love the clean water, but I also on weekends I love, especially snowy, cold, dreary. And Jerry right now is sick. He could use some brown water. So I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
bring it
Yeah,
home,
you
Jerry.
try
I'll shut up now.
No, kick the antibiotics. Take Jack's thing. Drink some brown water. Go sit in a sauna for an hour. I think you'll be sweating
I'll
out.
be good to go. Yeah, I'll be good to go. Josh,
Dr.
thanks.
Jack,
Yeah.
That's why Jack doesn't have hair, because stuff that he's been doing.
Great organization, and for those of you guys listening, reach out to Josh and his team and see how they can help you guys out, and especially BSCs, man. We got to take that more serious on how we partner with people. And the thought I'm walking away with today, Josh, is if I can save my customer 1, 2, 3, 4% in that cost, and it benefits me by 1, 2%, and I get used to doing that, and as my company grows, that 1 or 2% is a big deal. That's a lot of money, and that's the bottom line, on top of giving them a great product. So thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on Chasing Dirt Sheds. It's been great. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity. I love what you guys are doing. I know you're now famous, and you got Crocodile Dundee from Australia hitting you up. But you got a great thing going. It's connecting like-minded people that with for some reason we like what we do. It's a crazy freaking industry, but we can make a big difference, and you got a good audience out there. And for anybody listening, I appreciate the opportunity to listen to us three knuckleheads jibber jabber for a half an hour. But I'm here to help and share the story, and would love to connect.
Love it.
You see that, Josh? It only took Josh figuring out that a couple of minutes we were knuckleheads. So.
Well, no.
I knew that before this, Jerry. This was a prerequisite.
It's 31 minutes in. He didn't use knucklehead until the 31, but he figured it out early. But Josh, thank you much for coming on board. You're welcome back anytime you've got something to talk about. When those new products come out, hit us up. We would love to get the word out as well.
It sounds like we're going to talk about bourbon and new products next time.
Bourbon is actually cleaning cocktails, so we have the bourbon.
Okay, we can transition and go. I'm with you. We're flexible.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well, good done. Have a good weekend, Jerry. Get well. We'll talk next week. Thank you again, guys.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.